Well, anyway, skipping ahead, I have added new things to Walter White's place. So here is Albuquerque. Not much, but, you know, still being worked on and such. And here, so Walter White is supposed to walk out of this door here, which I set up. And basically, you'll see one of the few antagonists in the game, and this is one of the more reoccurring ones. Here you'll find a reincarnation of Connell Brawley Diamondback, which is sort of based on the character of the same name from the Wolfalla's series Diamond in the Rough, based off the character of the same name, and as such is kind of tied to Gensokyo, and so in this incarnate, so his incarnation is working with Team Rocket, and you have a fight with him over here in the middle of Walter White's front yard. So you got the streets of Albuquerque. So this house. There's gonna be some locations. Maybe like I'll have a convenience store. Maybe have some locations from the show Breaking Bad. Like I'll have maybe somewhere here. I'll have like Saul Goodman's place here. Maybe for an inn, it would be like the motel from the show. Yeah. It's going to be a pretty interesting thing. Now, even though there are different antagonists, there will be a... Sorry, I was drinking my chai that I made. Anyway, despite there being Team Rocket And when you get to the Gensoku part and you stop the Communist Revolution there, which comprises of fighting Leon Trotsky, Vladimir Lenin, and Joseph Stalin, which actually, like, I was planning for, like, when you fight Joseph Stalin, like, he made up his own spell cards to use, and basically this is all happening in the Scarlet Devil Mansion, and basically you'll switch to Flandre Scarlet, who will fight against, it's gonna be a pretty epic boss battle. Like, you'll have, like, I'm planning for, like the man of Communist Steel versus UN Owen, and just like the battle thing would be UN Owen was her, and it's gonna be like, for an RPG, it's gonna be pretty awesome. That I'm gonna make like Flandre like overpowered, like extreme, for an overpowered person power, and sort of like as a reference to a episode of Breaking Bad, like there will be an instance where Leon Trotsky would get cut by Stalin with a box cutter. Yeah. And it's also historically correct, seeing how Leon Trotsky was kind of hated and Stalin didn't like having rivals, so kind of took Trotsky out in the middle, hired some people to kill him, and he ended up dead in Mexico. So so it's actually kind of a historical reference there, not just a reference to what happened in an episode of Breaking Bad. That, and going back to antagonists, is that despite there being Team Rocket and communists, there is going to be a main antagonist. So basically, the presence of Team Rocket and the USSR and the Red Revolution is based all around this one guy who Colonel Brawley Diamondback's part of, and also another person I may or may not add, who is also going to help out with improving the quality of Walter White's meth in the game, which basically doesn't equate to much. It just means you get better equipment. I'm planning on making it something better, like maybe have an ending where like the main antagonist will end up being used against like Walter White would become like an end based upon how much money you have. Well, you'll get a real like the Walter White ending, which means like you'll end up with, due to this will require having a ton of DP or Dragon points and a buttload of having the Harai chemo, which bollocks. Anyway, as we bring up the database here, which is based off the Harai elixir from the Toho games, which is supposed to grant whoever drinks it like immortality, because this is technically so Walter White can use this, and if he has this equipped and you have like a large X amount of currency, you'll get like Walter White will become this economic power that ends up like he'll escape the DEA by just sort of like that episode of Alf where Alf sees like sort of like their take on like the Christmas Story or whatever, with the guy of him, like if Alf didn't crash into the Tanner's house and instead he ended up at being the CEO of like a perfume company, and the alien task force isn't going at him because he's pretty much the world's richest alien, basically, of his own kind. So it's going to be kind of like that, where Walter White would be such a large economic powerhouse that he'd pretty much have enough money to buy off the United States of America, and at the same time allowing, with Aerosoft being sort of having a share of Walter White, with Walter White being a board member and sort of associating the world's richest just kingpin to a with a video game company. It's gonna be like sort of a weird kind of good publicity. And then there's because actually all the for an ending part, no matter what, you'll end up going back to where everything was, except with Walter White and Reimu Hakurai with you. So with Hakurai, it's sort of like they get a share of the company, and thus allowing this allows Aerosoft to have like a economic hold on Gensokyo. Like, yeah. So there is gonna be multiple endings. Also, if we go over to common events, we've got the chapter end here, and yeah. So other than that, nothing much. I'm just gonna set that to eco. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and see you all later.